Hey y'all, and welcome to Monter's Market, and welcome to my amazing Cigar Box Transformations video. I was riding down the road the other day, and we came up to this little strip mall and got out to go in and go shopping, and I walked past a cigar bar. I've never even heard of a cigar bar, but I saw that little sign that I just showed you that said cigar boxes $3, and on the bottom it had another little sign, more cigar boxes inside. So I figured I would go in and check it out and see what it was all about. And believe it or not, the inside wasn't that bad. It wasn't real smoky or anything. The smell was not at all overwhelming. And it actually smelled good in there, especially in this room right here where they sold their cigars at. And I just thought it was really neat to take you in there and show you the different boxes. When I think of cigar box, I think of those little cardboard ones that we used way back in the 60s to put our pencils in at school. It is nothing like that. Some of them are shaped like that, but they're made out of solid, really good wood. So I was excited to pick me some up. I got 8 of them, and this little sweet girl right here gave them to me for $2 and I think 50 or 75 cents a piece. But let me show you what I'm going to do with DIY number 1. This little box here did not come with the lid, but it's okay because it was a perfect shape and size to do what I wanted to do with it. Now, I had already sprayed them down and cleaned them really good, but I did not remove the paper. This is the one that I'm going to use on the second DIY. It was 14 inches wide by, I think, 10 inches tall. Y'all, this one was a monster for $2 and something. So I was excited to grab that one. So now I'm going to take my molds and I'm going to do what somebody showed me, and I wish I could remember who it was to give them credit, but I racked my brain and could not remember who told me that you can use hot glue in your molds. Now, my hot glue gun gets screaming hot, so I was really scared to try it, but it worked. Now, even though I did not use these particular little embellishments that I made with the glue, it did work really, really good. And they were very pliable, and you can shape them. Like if you have a cylindrical container, you could actually, it was pliable enough to wrap it around it and glue it down or whatever. So that was kind of cool of the flexibility that it gave it. So once I got all of my different little stickers removed, and look here, when I used my heat gun to heat those stickers up, the smell that came out of that cigar box was amazing, and my whole room smelled like that good cigar. Now, I don't like smoke. I can't be around any kind of smoke. My lungs won't let me, but the smell of it was so cool. Now, these are the ones that I made with the glue, and I was just not happy with any way that I tried to arrange them. So I went ahead and pulled out my clay, and I did this one. Now, I was going to use the middle one for the front, but it was a little bit too big. It hung over a little over a ½ inch on each side. But now those ones on either side of it, I will use in this DIY because they are going to go perfect in the end with what I wanted to accomplish. So I did my clay mold, set it aside and let it dry, and then I went in with my ivory chalk paint from Waverly, and I gave my box 2 really good coats of this paint. Now, it ended up taking 2 because with it being wood, it soaked in the first coat pretty much. You know what I mean? It just soaked into that wood. Even though the wood had some sort of finish to it, it was still very porous, and it took all of my paint that I put on the first time. So I needed a second coat of paint, which was super easy to do. And I put my second coat on, let it dry. And then once I got that done, I was trying to figure out what in the world I wanted to do to my box. I'm terrible about picking something up to go to craft with it and start filming and have zero idea of where I want to go with it. And that's where I was at this point in painting this box. But then I decided to put some stripes on it. So I got this duct tape that's actually a masking tape by Duct Tape brand. And I put, well, I'm going to show you my antique wax for whatever reason, y'all. I don't know why I did that. Anyway, let me tell you about this. These are some finials that I got from Woodpecker Crafts, and I'm going to use them for the feet on this. I don't know what just happened, but it threw me. Anyway, let's just go with the flow. I took my antique wax and I rubbed it on with a baby wipe, and then I took a clean one and I took it right back off. Y'all, I'm so thrown right now. I took it right back off with a clean baby wipe, bringing out that gorgeous wood in these finials. Now, I am not being sponsored by Woodpecker Crafts today, but I have to tell you that their wood is absolutely amazing. And they have so many different shapes and sizes of wood. And I love them, y'all. Their prices are phenomenal, and I love them. So now I guess we're going back to the box. Whew, I don't even know what happened there. Anyway, I measured it out to find my center. And then I took a piece of the tape and I put it right smack in the center of my box. And then I put another piece of tape on either side of it. And I'm going to use my tape to measure the distance of my stripes. That's going to be my guide of how far apart I want to do my stripes. So once I got all of my tape put down and knew where I wanted my stripes to be, I then took the antique wax. Now, notice what I'm doing there. I'm taking my heat gun and I'm getting that tape really good and warmed up so that it sticks to the box better and it doesn't give me any leaks, or not leaks, but whatever it's called. Anyway, when your paint seeps up under your tape. So it really helped to use that heat to put it down on my box better. Anyway, I took my antique wax and I painted my stripes. Now, I did not use anything to wipe it back off like you normally would with antique wax, because I'm painting on paint and not over wood. But I was surprised that it still gave me a wood grain effect where the antique wax was at. And I was tickled to death with the way that turned out. I love the way it turned out and the way it looked. So once I got everything good and dry, I removed my tape to reveal these cute little stripes. Y'all, look at how pretty these stripes turned out. I love them. I am obsessed with these boxes, and that's probably the first of many times I'm going to say that. Heck, I might have already said it again. Anyway, I'm going to take my little feet, or these finials. They're not feet, but I use them for feet. As a matter of fact, if I can make it a foot out of it, I'm going to make a foot out of it. But anyway, I am using my wood hot glue to put them down on my box, because as y'all know, that works so much better than anything else I have ever found to hold something in place. Now, these are those two little embellishments that I made and let it dry. So I'm going to take my ivory chalk paint, and it may look like it's not making a difference in the color, but it actually made a big difference. You just really can't tell it here on the video, but it did make a big difference to paint it. So I painted it with the ivory, and not right now, but in a minute, I'm going to take my paintbrush that still has some of that antique wax on it after this dries, and I'm just going to wipe over the front of it to bring out the detail in these little embellishments. They're so pretty, y'all. But right now I'm going to take another different knob that I got from Woodpecker Crafts. It's a really big knob. And the reason I'm going with this big knob is because the finials that are on the bottom are kind of oversized for this box. So I wanted something else oversized to sort of bring it all together and make it look like it belonged. So I'm going to take this knob, paint it with the antique wax, wipe it back down like normally we always do. And I am going to glue it right smack to the middle of my box. Normally, whenever I'm trying to do something, it takes me forever to figure out how I want to place things. But this time I went with the very first thing that I did, believe it or not, which is really unusual for me because it usually takes me 10 different tries to decide on anything that I do and anything that I place permanently. But this one, I just went with the first one because I don't know, it just looked pretty the way it happened. But anyway, I put my little knob on and I glued it down and I threw my embellishments up there to see what they would look like. And I liked it just like that. Now that's what I'm talking about right there. I just went ahead with that and I glued it down with my wood glue so that it would be a permanent hold, and love the way they turned out. Then I'm going to take some handles, and I wasn't really sure which handle I wanted, so I tried it with a couple of them. That looked super cute. But I also have these little half circle handles here that I fell in love with. I got them from Amazon. Everything will be linked below that I'm using today, other than obviously the cigar boxes. But look, y'all, at how cute this stinking box turned out. I love this. I think it is so high-end, so shabby chic, so very French country, rustic, farmhouse, whatever you want to call it. I am obsessed with this box and the way it turned out. I love it. I cannot wait to hear what you think about it down in the comments below. Is this your vibe? Do you like this or do you not like it? Or you think that was a big waste of my time? I love it. So let's get into DIY number 2. Now this is my second box that I'm going to do for you. And this thing right here was so stinking beautiful. The detail on this wood is crazy. And right there on the little hinges, it even has the name. I guess it's pronounced Pardon, P-A-R-D-O-N. I don't know if they, like enunciate it like we do. But it was actually imprinted on the little hinges. So I didn't want to paint the inside of this box because it was so beautiful. I wanted to leave it authentic and leave it the way it was. So I'm taking my heat gun and I am removing all of my stickers. And like I said, when you put that heat to those boxes, the smell that emitted from that box, oh my heavens, it smelled so good. I never thought I would like the smell of cigars, but turn to find out I do. Anyway, there's just a little thing I found out about myself after all these years. I like the smell of cigars. So anyway, I'm going to do the same thing with this box that I did with the first one. I'm going to use the ivory chalk paint and the antique wax to make my little stripes and everything. So I'm going to go in and again, I'm going to give my box 2 really good coats of the ivory chalk paint by Waverly. I'm going to set it aside and let it dry before I start doing the other things. But listen, I am so obsessed with these boxes because as I was making these 2, I thought of so many different other things that you can do with these cigar boxes. And then I have a really wonderful subscriber named Miss Liz. Hey Liz, she sent me some pictures of some that she did. And y'all, they are beautiful. And if Miss Liz will allow me to, I want to post them on my Instagram after tonight and show you what she did with her cigar boxes. They are beautiful. She made one for her niece for her wedding and it was absolutely stunning. I loved it. So after my box dried, I'm taking my tape like I did with the first one, finding my middle, and I'm going to place my tape down, and I'm going to do the same thing as I did with the first one and use that tape to make my lines. Now, and you'll notice this tape is a little bit wider than the first tape because this box is bigger and you want it proportioned in, like properly to the box that you're using. So that's why I went with a little bit bigger tape. But once I got my box taped up, I went around the edges this time. You'll notice I did not use any heat to put my tape down, and it did give me a few little runs up under my up under my tape, but it was a super easy fix because once everything dried, I just took a really thin paintbrush, I dipped it down in my ivory, and I just went right along the edge and got rid of, painted over the top of those little runs that I had. Now listen, when I first started my channel, I would have freaked out if I would have messed up something like that. And you may not even be able to see it with the naked eye when I take this tape off, but I could, and I didn't want it to stay that way. So this is me just taking my little paintbrush and evening it right up. So don't give up. You can always, especially when you're painting, you can always start over. You can always either sand it down and start over, or just put some paint on top of what you've already got and start over. But don't panic. Stay calm. It's an easy fix. 9 times out of 10, it's easy to fix. So anyway, once I got my little stripes done and got them looking really crisp and pretty, that's when I moved on to my little feet and my embellishment. So these feet also came from Woodpecker Crafts. They're actually little bells, but as you know, I never use anything for its intended purpose. And if it looks like it can be made into a foot for something, then that's what I'm going to do. Because I'm obsessed with setting these little boxes and trinkets around my house that have feet to it. I don't know. I just love a real French country shabby chic look. And to me, that's what these little pieces do when you put a foot onto the bottom of, you know, a plate or a box or whatever it is that you are making. I don't know. I love it. And I love the way that this one turned out too. So I'm doing the antique wax, painting it on, wiping it off, and bringing out that really pretty wood. And then y'all, this medallion that I got, I want to say it came from Hobby Lobby. I was going to paint it ivory and then distress it with the antique wax. But when I put that paint, when I put it unpainted on top of those stripes, the contrast was so beautiful that I decided to just take my paintbrush and distress a little bit across the top to bring out that beautiful image that was on the top, or, you know, the decor on the top, or whatever you want to call it. Anyway, then I added my little handles, and voila, look at this masterpiece, y'all. Look at that. See what that little bit of antique wax did to the top of that medallion? It just brought out all that beautiful detail. But then that plain wood up against those stripes, I thought was just stunning. I think it's very high-end looking, very classy. Again, very French country, shabby chic, and it is so me, and I love it so, so much. Look at those bells, guys. They made the perfect feet for this box. Now, I'm going to show you the box like this, and then I'm going to open the box up and put a few little things down in it to show you what it would look like if you opened it to display something in. Is that not beautiful? Now, you can put some old hankies in there. You can put it, like, make a sewing kit out of it. You can put your jewelry in there, make a little jewelry box, put some little, like, put it on your dresser and put your colognes and things on top of it. Like, there's so many things you can do with these boxes, and I'm just tickled that I found this place. Who knew that you could take cigar boxes and turn them into something so high-end and so classy and so beautiful? And I am just in love with the way that these boxes turned out. Now, let me, let me show you my final reveal with the 2 boxes that I've done for you today. Now, you know I normally do 3 different things, but today I just kind of ran out of time and stopped at 2. But guys, look at these boxes. Are you as obsessed with them as I am, or is it me? Am I in my own little world and loving the way that these cigar boxes turned out? I, painted it in my colors to match my decor. You can paint them literally any color you want to paint them. You could put polka dots on there. You don't have to put stripes. You can take rub-on transfers from the Dollar Tree and embellish them with. There are so many things that you can do to make these your own and to match your decor. But this is what I've done with mine, and I am so tickled at the way they turned out. And I can't wait to read down in the comments what you think about my amazing Cigar Box Transformations video. I just am obsessed with them. And I know you've heard that word already today. So anyway, if for some reason this is the first time you've ever been to my channel, welcome to Monner's Market. My name is Brenda, but my sweet grandbabies call me Monner. And I have a video that comes out every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And one video that comes out on the 20th with some friends of mine that I started crafting with when I first started my channel a couple of years ago. At 3 o'clock on the 20th, we have a video. And every once in a while, I'll do another video every now and then. We always do a premiere during, or a live chat, during the premiere, where we sit and chit chat and talk about the video as it is playing for the first time. So if you haven't before, join us in the live chat. We'd love to have you. To my girls in the live chat and my guys, hey, I love you guys and so appreciative that you're here with me every week. But for now, thanks for coming. Thanks for watching. Be blessed. Bye now.